I just barely missed my July reselling goals, but if you want to learn more, then keep on watching. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine. I am a reseller and beauty enthusiast, so if those are things that you love to watch on YouTube, please consider subscribing before you go. We have a goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, so I'm very hopeful that it will happen, but I need you to help. So today's video is actually going to be doing my July reseller recap series. I do this every month. I basically go into all of my numbers that I, bookkeep for July, and we go over highs, we go over lows, we go over goods, we go over bads, and just kind of keeps me accountable for being a reseller, gives you an idea of what it's like to be a part-time reseller, because I do have a full-time job. So this is just, I want to say it's a side gig, but really it's kind of like another full-time job in essence, and I am by no means the highest earning or the lowest earning reseller. There's definitely a lot of people out there who I would suggest that you watch as well who can make this a part-time job and full-time income. That's just not me. So this is I feel like a realistic version of a part-time seller. So yeah, let's just get into it. We are going to be doing a little bit of a different format here, just to see if I like it. Now, it was highly inspired by Mogi Beth. I'll link her channel down below. She's definitely one of those resellers who makes a lot more money than I do. So I enjoy watching her channel. So I'll leave her channel down below, but we're going to do it in the style of her, and just to see if we like this. But you let me know if you've watched my previous reseller recaps, which I'll link those up in the corner for you if you're familiar, or not if you're familiar, if you want to watch them, and you let me know which style you like better. But let's get into it. So before we get into it, I want to do a quick recap of my makeup. Actually, I really like it. I'm using the Nude Trolls palette from Cosmic Brushes. Everything is going to be listed in the description. It's through my affiliate links and stuff like that. I'll also link my October, oh my gosh, it's not October, my August Shop My Stash up in the corner if you're interested to see the other stuff that I'm using. But all of makeup will be listed down below. Affiliate links, I earn a commission. Thank you if you shop through them. Okay, now let's get into it. All right, so this is my new system to share and screen record at the same time. All right, so we are recapping the month of July. So for total sales for the month, I had $1,720.45. My total cost of goods, so that is the money that I spent on all of the products that sold this particular month, was just over $700. And then my total profit, this is where I almost had it, was $1,029.68. So I set a goal for myself at the beginning of this year that I wanted $1,100 profit per month. Last month I did pretty well. Month prior, not so much. So we're kind of like teeter-tottering between if I make it or if I don't. So only time will tell at the end of the year to see if I made that profit goal or not. But I did sell 113 items, which is up from the month prior, which is great. My average listing price, so the price that basically I combined all the listing prices of all the items, was $19.41. My average cost of goods per item was $6.19. And then my average profit per item was $9.30. So this number is extremely, extremely low. And that is because I did another flash sale this month. So I've been doing them quarterly. So my next quarter will be in October. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, I'm going to be like out of town all of October. So it's not going to work. I might have to push it to like November or something like that. But what that means is I let go of a lot of items for very low prices, so I was barely making, I was making all of my money back, except one item. I was making all of my money back, but I wasn't profiting a lot, so that is why this number has been impacted so much. Ideally, I would like to be at like $20 an item, maybe like $15 to $20 per item. That would be really great for me. It did take 88 days to sell on average per each item. I always think this is important to know, because if you are a seasonal type of lister or something like that, if I list something now, it could take 88 days to sell, which that puts us in the end of fall, close to winter. So that means I should probably get all of my jackets and sweaters and stuff like that listed now. I try to do that. I've been trying to really push out a lot of my summer items at this moment that I have, picked up along the way. And if you're ever interested in any of my thrift hauls, I share all the things that I find. I will link that up in the corner for you to enjoy at your leisure. So I'm trying to get those items that I have recently picked up and listed into before summer's over, basically. So I do sell on a lot of different platforms. So I always like to break down how much I'm actually getting, or from each platform, sales I'm getting from each platform, if that made sense. So I made 4 sales on eBay, 0 on Mercari, which is kind of interesting. I always make a handful of sales on Mercari, and this was the first month that I haven't. So I don't know what to do with that information. But then I did have 9 sales on Depop, which is kind of unusual. I actually had like 4 sales in a row on Depop. Normally I have maybe 3 sales, but apparently at the end of the month Depop was popping. And then I did have 2 sales on Curtsy. I very rarely make sales on there, but what is really nice is that they actually like link up to your Poshmark account. And when you list stuff on Poshmark, if you have that like toggle whatever to share your listings from, excuse me, my nose is running, share your listings from Poshmark to Curtsy, it's why wouldn't you list there, or why wouldn't you try to sell on there? It's such an easy way of listing them. And so that means I made the rest on Poshmark. So I made 98 sales on Poshmark. But now let's go into the lowest and highest individual sales, bundle sales, and then I will give you all the rest of my notes. Okay, so I always like to start with my lowest profiting sales, and unfortunately this Johnny Was workshop sleeveless button-up top was my lowest sale. And I realized as I was kind of like getting these ready to show, I totally forgot to put like top or shirt or anything like that, so I wonder if that had anything to do with it as well. But it is a really cool, fun top. I mean, it has this like contrasting print, kind of like flannel on the front, and then it was silk on the back. This is the tag for it, and as you can see, it does have some like pilling and stuff like that, so it wasn't in the most pristine condition, but it still was in really nice condition. I will show you what the back looked like because it was so pretty. And I had this let me reference my notes above. I was on the 3rd time, almost 4th time relisting this, so I did have it for 142 days in the 3rd time of listing it, and I paid way too much money. So obviously it sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was, wait for it, $50.75, and before you come at me, I'm definitely not paying up for items like that anymore. And the only reason I did pay up for it is because I have a family member who was new to Poshmark, and she had some like family health issues, so I opted to purchase from her Poshmark in order to kind of provide my support in that way. So I didn't make an offer or anything like that. I just bought this and another item outright. So that was my contribution, so I was happy to pay that. So I did resell it for $40, so my profit was negative $18.75. I don't think I've ever lost that much money on an item, but that's okay. I was happy to see it go. Again, it brings down my average price of cost of goods for items, so that's okay too. It is what it is. I did receive an offer for this item. Now, as you'll see here, I had these like parentheses with this number here, so that was actually part of my flash sale. I have explained it in the past, but I'll explain it for any of my new viewers. So basically, I go through all of my items and I say how much I would be willing to, like my rock bottom bundle price. So my rock bottom bundle price for this was $65. So if we if we're doing the math, if my cost of goods was almost $51, $65 minus 20% brings me to $52. So that's where you're saying I'm making like $1 profit on these. So that's kind of where I like how I price things. Now, somebody comes in with a $40 offer, and I was just, at this point, I was like, I'm just going to take it. There was no point of going back and forth. I'd rather just take this, take the loss, and move forward. So that is what that is, and kind of gives you an explanation of what these numbers mean too. So moving on from that, my next lowest profiting item is also on Poshmark. It was this Athleta white modal rib crop tank. My cost of goods was $4.91. It sold for $10, so I profited $2.14. It did take 27 days within the second time of listing it to sell, and I did receive an offer from the buyer. Then we move platforms on to Depop. So this was come on now. This is from the company Cinderblock. This is Too Tough to Die Johnny Ramone like band t-shirt. My cost of goods was $6.19, so kind of high for this particular item. I definitely would not pay that much for this brand because the retail value isn't that high. So I'm actually surprised that I sold it for as much as I did, but I did sell it for $12. Yeah, so I had discounted all of my items 40% off, so it brought it to $15. So then somebody came in and made another offer of $12, which I accepted. So I profited $2.54. I did sell within 19 days of the first time listing it, so that's a pretty decent time frame. So maybe if you find this brand and it's kind of like fun prints to it, and the cost of goods is pretty low, then you might consider picking it up, but I wouldn't pay more than $2 for this, so I'll know next time. But the brand is good to know. Let me get a closer look of the brand right there. And this also was a boosted sale, so I had to pay an extra boosted listing fee for that. I boost all of my stuff on Depop and eBay, but Depop takes like just flat 8% fee. eBay, you get to kind of like change the percentage of stuff, which I kind of have been changing it from like 5 to 8% per item. Poshmark, I don't boost anything or do their beta thing anymore. I did the test for it and I just didn't find it very helpful, and I didn't want to pay. I wouldn't mind paying a percentage of it if it was just like Depop and eBay, so you only pay if the item is sold through a promoted or boosted type of way. I would happily pay 5 to 8% for that. I'm not happy to pay basically just for clicks. So you're not even guaranteed sales out of it, and you have to pay. It's stupid. I don't like it, but if you do it and it works for you, more power to you. Please let me know down below if you like it or don't like it. So the next item that I sold was this torrid red mixed stitch sleeveless sweater skater dress. Mouthful to say. Sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $6.44. It sold for $12. My profit was $2.61. It took 85 days within the first time listing it, and I did sell on a 70% offer sent by me. So I was noticing my sale wasn't garnishing the profits that I wanted, so I sent out a lot of waterfall sale offers to try to stir up some business, which it did, so I was totally okay with that. The next item is part of that kind of sale as well. It is this Sperry's men's black mock cider nylon slip-on. I should have put sneaker or something like that there. So just a little kind of cool slip-on sneaker, I guess. Sold on Poshmark. My cost of goods was $5.59. It did sell for $12. My profit was $3.46. It sold within 96 days of the second time listing it, and it sold for a 70% off offer as well. So this one rounds out the lowest profits. Now let's jump into the highest profits, going in ascending order. So we have this eBay item. this Tory Burch orange leather Cameron wedge thong sandals. This kind of, nope, go away now. My raccoon always is going to pop up. This is kind of how I do my titles for eBay and whatnot. So my cost of goods is $4.57. It sold for $55 plus shipping, which ended up being $65.85. So my profit was $37.41. It did take 10 days within the first time listing it, so a really, really great turnaround. You can see they weren't even in like the super best condition. I mean, they were in good condition, but you can kind of see there like the toe prints, some wear on the leather and stuff like that. So I'm very happy with this sale. I did receive an offer from the buyer, and it did sell on a promoted listing. So again, you have to pay that additional percentage of whatever I chose to put it at that day. So great sale. The next item was also on eBay, yes. This is actually an item that I thought I was going to keep for myself, but just opted not to. This is an Anne Klein window pane plaid sweater coat. It was an extra large, retailed for $149, obviously in excellent condition right here. My cost of goods was $6. It sold for $65 plus shipping, which ended up being $74.18, and this actually was a full price sale. I was super surprised that Anne Klein sold for A, full price, and B, for that much. So I was very happy about that. My profit was $47.88. It did sell within 114 days of the first time listing it, and like I said, sold full price, and it was not promoted, so I didn't have to pay any additional fees for it. This is a really great example of, people are starting to look for fall and winter at this time. So if you have those items, definitely get, the last remaining of your summer items listed, and really consider, starting to list your fall and winter items because people are looking for them. Now we go back to Poshmark. So we have this really pretty, went too far. There's like a little bit of a lag time between the video recording and the actual me clicking on things. So this really pretty City Chic Floral Bliss maxi dress. This is actually one of their very popular styles that comes in tons of different prints. Really pretty silhouette. City Chic is a really nice plus size company that does, I kind of know them for like party dresses and, things like that. So I was really happy to find it. It was new with tags. It was a size 18. They do vanity sizing. So in City Chic, this was actually a medium, but for all intents and purposes, it's a size 18 when you convert it. It did have a little bit of damage to it, so it was new with tags, but it had some runs on the seams, which I just noted and I took pictures of. And I guess if you're unfamiliar with what the tag looks like, that is what it looks like. It's kind of unassuming, like you wouldn't really think that's a really great brand. Like I would kind of pass it by and think it's TJ Maxx and stuff like that, but they have very high retail values and sell relatively well in my opinion. So my cost of goods was $6.44. It sold for $85. So I profited $61.56. It sold within 77 days of the first time listing it, and I did receive an offer from the buyer. And this is a great example of that. Even though I had this little 10 right here, meaning that they could have bundled this for only $10 plus the bundle price of something else and got it way cheaper. And I will tell you, I promote this to everybody, so I'm not discriminating against who I send things to, who I don't send things to, because my goal during these sales is to get rid of items. As you can see back here, I have plenty of items that I need to list, and I need to make room in this room to process these items. So during these sales, it's yes, it is about profit, but it's also about more about moving items out. So I always send people like my sale listing, I send them a message, hey, just to let you know, and still some people either don't read, choose not to, I don't know what they're thinking, but will still pay $85 for something I would have let go for $10. So just it always works in your favor. I don't know if I should say that, but it worked out in my favor this time. So then moving on to my next highest profit, it was this pair of Iskander striped linen wide leg pants. If you are unfamiliar, let me show you this tag. This is a great tag to know. Iskander. Eskandar, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it was 100% linen, size 0 or an extra small. Look at this retail value, $695. So it's an expensive brand. I've sold a sweater from them before for also a lot of money, but I think this profited the most for me, and I didn't even finish filling it out. Hold on, let me I have that sheet that I was showing you earlier of all of my information, and apparently I just forgot to fill it out. So it sold on eBay. My cost of goods was $6.62, and let me find this sale. There we go. It sold for $109.72. I think it probably sold like for $95 plus shipping. As you can see, I had it listed for $195, and I always set my minimum price, so somebody must have hit one of my minimum prices and it just automatically accepted it. And so my profit was $76.19. I received an offer from the buyer, so it just kind of fell within that window frame, and this was not promoted, so that's super nice that I did not have to pay that additional percentage of that sale. So make this to memory. And then lastly, my highest sale of them all was on Poshmark, which is usually kind of interesting because I feel like my highest sales are usually on eBay, but you can see 3 out of the 5 were on eBay. It was this pair of Stewart Boot Company brown leather Western boot with stitching. These were in really, really, really great condition boots. Minus some scuffing on the toes and stuff like that. My concern was that they were such a small ass size. So as you can see right here, I kind of did some research on this company, and actually come to find out they are made in Tucson. I live in Tucson. I had no idea. And so when I went to look up their items, they are pretty much custom made. So the size chart was like a little bit weird for me to read. I did send a message to them and be like, hey, I thrifted these pair of boots. They are this size. Can you let me know what that equates to? Of course, they never got back to me. So just, you kind of have to take a guess on that. So I just said, I believe the sizing is in men's youth, which converts to a 6.5 in women's, which is how they're going to be listed. So you really hope that somebody reads that. You try to be as explanatory as you can when you're listing stuff, to avoid any sort of returns. I measured the heel, I measured heel toe measurements so people would know. And they did sell, so my cost of goods was $12.50. They sold for $125, so I profited $87.50. They sold within 170 days of the first time listing them, and I did receive an offer from the buyer. So that is always, always, always nice. So transitioning from individual sales to bundle sales, because that is pretty much a lot of what my sales were this month. So my lowest bundle sale was made up of this Vince Camuto Army Green studded utility jacket that went for $5. This actually came in one of my ThredUp boxes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will I'll link my ThredUp unboxing up in the corner for you. You can see. But so it was made up this jacket and then this Disney hoodie. So there we go again, it's jumping everywhere. This Disney Hocus Pocus graphic hoodie, you can see right here. So this went for $10, so it sold for $15 total, and my profit was $4.17 for this bundle. And then my highest profiting bundle was made up of these Hill House, the Skylar linen pant in navy. If you're interested, this is from Boutique by the Box. I can list that video up in the corner for you too. I don't really recommend them. This was kind of an experiment for me, and I still have items left over from that, and I think I filmed that video like in October last year, so I still have some items, so it's not something I would recommend, but if you're curious to know what items that I did get, that video will be linked for you. So we had this Hill House Skylar linen pant in navy. We had this pair of Zara slouchy paper bag waist trousers. Then we had this Athleta Cruise mesh sweatshirt, which is really cute because I kind of have these like mesh panels right there. And then lastly, this Athleta romper, sleep romper basically. So that is the tag if you're unfamiliar. So everything actually sold for $100. So this sale was prior to me starting my flash sale. So when I'm not doing my flash sale, I have a 2 for $36 sale. So 2 items that are priced $99 and below, you can get them for $36. And then I say, because I do have quite a few items that are listed above $36, that I will take 36% off that combined with the other prices. So everything ended up being $100 for this bundle. My cost of goods was $37.28, so my profit was $42.72. All right, so we will finish up this video with my camera. So just kind of going into some notes for myself, it's always interesting to see. I didn't have any returns or cases this month, which is always very nice, but I also didn't have any same day sales, which that is kind of a bummer. I always like to, you know, see if I can list something and it sells within the same day. It just has some sort of gratification. But I did have 9 items that sold within the same week of listing, so that is also very good. I'm very happy about that. As far as full price sales, so we already talked about that Anne Klein jacket, and then I also had another item that it was this Nike Icon Clash bodysuit. This is really kind of fun, funky, abstract print bodysuit from Nike. This actually sold full price and it was an international sale. So both of those were on eBay, so very cool, happy to see that. There was way too many items that sold within the flash sale versus not in the flash sale. Also with the offers received and sent, usually I like to account for how many offers I have sent out versus how many offers I've received. There was just way too many to count, so I just opted not to do that this month. But I do also like to account for how many things that were sold through promoted or boosted on eBay and Depop. So for eBay, 1 item sold promoted versus 3 that did not. And then for Depop, 5 sold boosted compared to 4 that were not boosted. So, you know, always information that I like to know. So then final just kind of recapping of the recap, if you will. So my flash sale didn't go quite as well as I thought it was going to go. The past 2 times that I've done it, so I did it in January and I did it in April, and it went really well. Definitely made my reselling goals there. Got rid of a lot of inventory, which is super nice. I mean, I still got rid of 113 items this month, which I didn't list anything new. I just relisted old items. So I think I didn't do the hard math, but I want to say I probably sold about anywhere from 20 to 25% of all of my inventory, which is pretty good. I will say that. You know, I don't want to say it was a complete disaster. It did what it did. But I, you know, always wish that more items would have sold, or I could have at least gotten to that $1,100 mark. And how I advertise for it is, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of annoying. And it's a lot of work. You know, changing all the prices or the titles and the prices, then promoting it through my shoppers, which some people get up in arms with my shoppers that they don't want to be notified. And I'm just over here like, you know what, I use the tools that are given to me through the platform. So I'm going to use them. I don't abuse them. I don't feel like there are some people who do abuse them or sending them on a daily or weekly basis, and I just kind of send them out on a quarterly basis. So teach their own on that. But so I do advertising that way. I advertise on Facebook, like in some of the reselling groups that allow you to promote sales, do it on Instagram and stuff like that. And then I also, I have like sale listings that I've accumulated a lot of likes on. So I will reduce the price to kind of alert people that a sale is happening as well. So it's a lot of work. And like I said, whenever somebody does like something, I do add it to their bundle. I share the sale listing to them to explain it. And then I do leave a little comment saying, hey, check out this listing, has all of my information. So it's a lot of work, but it usually turns out pretty well. And like I was saying below, even if I do all of that work, some people are still going to buy things full price. Some people are still going to accept offers. So I forgot to mention that is that I do, so the two tools that I use the most are Vendu. It's a relisting, delisting service. Basically, it's kind of like a reseller hub that I make all of my listings in that hub, and then I can list them to all the different platforms without having to leave that hub. A lot of great properties and services that they have. It's not without its flaws, so just be warned of that. But if you're interested in trying that, I will have this, and I'll have Vendu and Posture VA info down below. But the one that I was talking about is Posture VA. I do have it send out 20% offers a minute after somebody likes something. So, you know, they have a 20% offer. I'm also sending them information of like, hey, here's my sale. And some people still accept the 20% offers. So, you know, don't be afraid to discount some of your prices because people are still going to pay more for it than what you intend. So don't be afraid to try sales. Some more notes. So I did sell 6 items from those ThreadUp boxes. So I've already listed that. I'll list the second video. So I'll have already listed the first video, and then I'll list the second video up in the corner for you if you're interested to see the second one that I did. And so I've just been selling items from those boxes that I have opted to keep myself to resell. And then lastly, within this month, Depop talked about not having any more seller fees. So that's pretty awesome. I don't know if it has any sort of correlation with people buying more on Depop. Like, I feel like that would kind of be the opposite, but I don't know. It worked out in my favor, so I'm super happy about that. So now Depop and Mercari do not have seller fees. So I'm interested, except Depop still has like the boosted fee, I believe. So if you opt to boost your items, you still have to pay that fee, but you don't have to pay like a payment processing fee, or you don't have to like pay a percentage of the sale or something. I don't know, but you still have to pay the boosted part. So now Depop and Mercari are 2 platforms that don't have any fees. So I'm interested to see how other platforms, if they change at all. That would be really interesting. You let me know your thoughts down below. But that is the recap of July. So not a bad month. Got rid of a lot of items. Almost made my goals, so that's very exciting. And yeah, pretty pleased with myself. I've been very busy with drafting up tons of things for August. So that is what I do. Since I don't list new items during that sale, I will take a lot of my time to draft up a lot of new items. So I have tons of new items for August, September, until that sale comes around again, and just kind of pumping out those listings. So I'm very, very happy about that. But with that, I really appreciate you watching this video all the way through. It truly means a lot to me. Again, trying to grow this channel organically. I would love to see you back here if you liked this content. Make sure you like the video, comment down below how were your goals this month, whether reselling related, personal, business, whatever it may be. I'd love to hear from you. And with that, I will see you in my next one. Bye.